Hello, everybody out there in podcast world and podcast land. Welcome to the T2 podcast with your boy Justin J. Will, whatever you want to call me. Hope you guys are doing well out there, man, on your Friday. Ready for the weekend, ready to turn up, ready to turn down. Whichever situation applies to you. Hope you had a good week, good work week, good rest week, whatever it was for you. Just blessed to be here, blessed to be alive, blessed to be breathing, man. So definitely nothing wrong with that. So just hope you guys are doing well out there, man. I appreciate you for tuning in, downloading, subscribing, and tuning into the Cheap Truth. So let's get right into it. So a couple things I want to talk about today. I'm not going to talk about a lot, just a couple things. Talk about the NBA playoffs, and we'll get into the Baker Mayfield drama. Well, if you can call it drama, it's just Baker Mayfield and him and his shenanigans and the BS that he's up to these days. So we'll get into that, and that'll probably transition into some draft talk, a little draft talk here and there. But I'll probably focus more on Baker Mayfield. But that's pretty much all I got for today, unless I decide otherwise, because this is the Cheap Truth, and I can talk about whatever the hell I want to, because this is my podcast, and I appreciate you guys for listening. So before I get into it, man, you guys already know how I gotta do this. I gotta give you guys some wisdom, man. You know what I'm talking about? Some wisdom, man, to put on your brain and drop some knowledge on you here. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about the story that happened in Philadelphia. Southwest Airlines plane engine actually exploded. So one of the engines exploded and sent the plane into a descent, and the pilot on board, luckily, was able to take control of the situation and was able to successfully land the plane. Now, the plane was actually flying out of New York, and it was headed towards Dallas. But, being that a freaking engine exploded, they had to divert, and they had to land somewhere else, and that place just so happened to be Philadelphia. And one person died tragically, unfortunately, man. But it could have been a lot worse. It definitely could have been a lot worse. Just the thought of an engine exploding. Just imagine you're just riding down the street. Everything's well. Hey, Mr. Rogers, how you doing over there? And then all of a sudden, your engine just explodes. I don't think anybody would want to be a part of something like that. I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't know what to do. Hell, I probably couldn't do anything, 'cause I'd be dead if that were to happen. But yeah, man, you had this engine explode, and you got 100 and some people on board. It's definitely not the most ideal situation that you want to be in. But kudos to the pilot, Tammy Jo Schultz. She was the captain, and she was also a fighter pilot, like 30 years ago or something like that. So she has experience flying fighter jets as well. She was able to keep a level head. She was able to, basically put her training and put her experience to the test here, and safely guide 100 and some people to safety. Now, like I said, unfortunately, the lady that died, I think she died from like the shrapnel that came from the engine explosion or whatever. But it definitely could have been a lot worse. Definitely could have been a lot worse. So, what can we learn from this, man? What can we learn from this? We always need to look at these types of situations and try to learn something from them. First of all, I think one thing that we can take away from this is, when you're flying, man, and those flight attendants, I know I'm guilty of this too, because especially if you fly a lot, you tend to ignore those. You tend to ignore the pilot and what they're saying about turning the phone off. What you've been through this millions of times, so you know what protocol is. You know what the drill is. Okay. So when the flight attendants are doing their little video and showing you how to put the oxygen mask on, you tend to ignore it. But maybe from this point on, if you've been ignoring it, maybe you don't need to ignore it. Because I mean, they do those things for a reason, man. They have those safety measures in place for a reason, and it's for a situation like that. And just because it doesn't happen often, which it doesn't happen often at all. I mean, I think they said like the last fatality was like 30 years ago or something like that, like in the 80s. Fatality from a lost engine. Like, planes are super safe. I mean, you definitely shouldn't let this deter you from flying. Don't let this deter you from flying. I'm telling you, you have a better chance of pulling out of your driveway, hopping on the interstate, and some crazy guy hitting you from behind and you crashing into a median than something like this happening. Trust me, the chances are way greater of something happening to you in your car than it is flying on a plane. But yeah, man, when those flight attendants whip out the training material, whatever. I mean, listen, man, listen to them. It could save your life one day, man. I know I can speak for my job. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, every job has stupid rules. I mean, point blank, period. I don't care what you do. You could have the greatest job ever. I'm pretty sure they're going to have rules that a lot of people deem as stupid. Like, why in the hell would you have that rule? Why would you have that policy in place? And even though some of them are probably legitimately stupid and probably should be revised or just flat out removed, I mean, some measures are in place for a good reason, you know? I mean, wearing your seatbelt is a law for a reason, point blank, period. Driving drunk, a legal limit, establishing a legal limit as far as how much alcohol you can drink or how much alcohol you can have in your body. I mean, they had it in place for a reason. There's a reason for these things. So keep that in mind. Now, as far as the lady, Tammy Jo Schultz, we can definitely learn something from her. And that is keeping a level head, okay? So this lady was able to, in spite of all the chaos going on around her, man. I mean, just imagine you're in her shoes, right? And all of a sudden you lose one of your engines, okay? You lose one of your engines, you got 100-some people on board. And the thing is, not only did you lose your engine, it exploded. Okay? It's one thing for you to have like a power failure or something, but I mean, this flat out exploded. So imagine having that happen to you and having to guide everybody to safety, knowing that you're basically everybody's guiding light at that point. And if you don't execute your training, you don't execute the things that you learn, you don't execute, I mean, everybody could die. So the fact that she was able to be cool, calm, and collected enough to, land the plane, she didn't panic, and then it wasn't just her; it was the whole crew. I mean, they were able to get everybody to safety. So definitely, man, keep a level head in life, man. I understand that situations are going to arise, things are going to happen. Just try not to get flustered. And I know it's easier said than done. Like, it really is. I mean, I can speak for me. I'm pretty sure I can speak for a lot of people. It's definitely easier said than done. But I think over time, as you experience more and as you get older, it kind of becomes easier. Like, the more things you go through, the more adversity you go through, the more situations you go through, the easier it is for you to maintain a level head. The easier it is to be cool, calm, and collected in those situations. It's just like a veteran quarterback, right? Tom Brady, he's been in game-winning, game-time situations millions of times. So he already knows the drill. He knows 9 times out of 10 what the defense is going to throw at him. Like he knows what to expect. Aaron Rodgers, cool, calm, collected. In the game, man, I've been here a million times. I'm not going to get flustered. I'm not going to, let things rattle me. I've been here before. So keep a level head, man. Don't make permanent decisions off temporary emotions, man. Look here, if you're getting into it with somebody, man, boyfriend, girlfriend, arguing, whatever, hey, keep a level head, man. Hey, guys, there's nothing wrong with apologizing to your lady, man. Just apologize. Even if you ultimately feel like you're right in this situation, just apologize, man. Yeah, you'd be surprised what an apology will do. Just a flat out apology. Keeping a level head, staying focused on the bigger goal, staying focused, focusing on bigger things, man. And I mean, this was I certainly couldn't imagine having to do anything like this. I couldn't imagine. I mean, well, I guess granted, if I had the training and I had the experience, I guess I could. But I mean, just being in that position, man, I can only imagine what everybody on that plane was thinking. And thank God that this lady was able to do her thing. She was able to trust her training. She was able to trust her instincts, and she was just able to get the job done, man. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So kudos to her, man. So what we can learn from this going into the weekend: keep a level head, stay calm, stay focused, and just keep on trucking, man. Keep on believing, and keep on keeping a level head, regardless of how bad the situation may be, regardless of the bills piling up, regardless of the kids steady bothering you or whatever, man. Just keep a level head, be cool, calm, and collected. Okay, so that's my wisdom for you going into the weekend. Take it for what it's worth. Write it down, picture it, frame it, do with it what you will. But that's what I got for you. All right, so let's hop into these other topics here. So before I get into that, man, I just had to mention this right here. I just came across this article on Bleacher Report. Scottie Pippen has $50K worth of tractors stolen from rural Arkansas's farm. Okay. Who wakes up in the morning and just decides, hey guys, what? You know what I'm about to go do? What's that? About to go steal a tractor. Ooh, man, bruh. We be styling on them in that tractor, fool. About to steal a tractor, man. $50K worth of tractor stolen from. Hey, go for it, man. Hit a lick. Hit that stain, man. Go for it. Go for it, man. Come on. Who wakes up and decides to just steal a tractor? I mean, seriously. Or steal a tractor or steal tractors. I mean, how would you even do that? I don't even know how that's possible. I mean, how? I know you have a lot of criminals out there who steal cars on the regular, but who in the hell steals tractors? Like, where did they write the book for stealing tractors? Like, where's the guide to stealing tractors? Where's that at? I mean, I know you can look on the internet and find out how to hotwire a car or something like that, but I don't know about tractors. I don't know. Maybe it's the same concept or whatever. Just a funny story, man. And poor Scottie Pippen, man. Everybody's stealing stuff from Scottie, man. Tractors, women, just everything. If you guys who don't know about that story, just Google Scottie Pippen and Future and come back to me. But yeah, funny ass story. Just funny article right there. So let's talk about the NBA playoffs, man. So since we last talked, your boy LeBron got him one. The Cavaliers beat the Pacers 100-97. LeBron had 46 points, 12 reads on them boys. And yeah, they got him one, man. They evened up the series 1-1. So what does this tell me? This does not tell me anything. I'm still going with my original thought that the Cavaliers will beat the Pacers in this series. It'll probably go 6-7 games, no doubt. But the Cavaliers will still beat the Pacers. LeBron looked good. Hey, in a game he had to have, pretty much, he did his thing. Kevin Love actually ended up getting hurt this game, and I forgot what the actual prognosis was, but it was something with his thumb. But he will play in Game 3 regardless. But yeah, man, I'm still of the notion that the Cavs will not get a game off on the Warriors if they ultimately go to the finals. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to think they may not even come out the East. I mean, seriously, I'm starting to think that they may not even come out the East, man. Man, the Cavs are not good. They're not good. They're not good defensively. You can't count on a lot of the role players. I mean, they're just not. They're just not that good, man. They're not that good at all. Now, I honestly think that this is setting up real nicely. This is setting up real nicely for LeBron to leave Cleveland. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like everything is kind of just falling down, man. I mean, you had the Isaiah trade, and the Jamison Crowder. I mean, you had that trade at the beginning of the year, and it was so positive. And yeah, man, the Cavs are coming, man. They got Derrick Rose and they got Dwayne Wade. Oh my goodness, man, it's about to go down. And it went down, but it didn't go down in a good way. It went down in a bad way. And they basically ended up getting rid of all those players and starting over again. So the fact that didn't work, and the fact that they are just not that good now, and you can't really depend on people besides LeBron James. I think this is setting up for either the Cavaliers to lose in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, I will give them that. I still think they'll make the Eastern Conference Finals. But either they're going to get eliminated in the Eastern Conference Finals, or they are going to get routed in the NBA Finals. And that will be the perfect time for LeBron James to get the hell out of Dodge. Whether that be the Lakers, whether that's the Sixers, whether that's the Spurs, wherever he decides to go, or the Rockets, wherever he decides to go. I think it's lining up really nicely for LeBron James to leave Cleveland. Now, granted, he still has some more games to play, more games to win, but I think everything's really setting up pretty nicely for LeBron James to go ahead and leave. I think he's out of there. I don't know what you guys think, man, but I think he's out of there. I think LeBron's out of there. He sees it. He sees everything's kind of falling down around him. I mean, starting with Kyrie. Kyrie didn't want to play with him anymore. He wanted to do his own thing. Couldn't take the circus. Couldn't take the diva that is LeBron James. Decided to, have a change of heart and have his own team. And he gets traded to Boston. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But good looking on the Cavs, beating the Pacers or whatnot. OKC lost to the Jazz, 102-95. Now, I watched this game a pretty good bit, man. I watched a lot of this game. And I must say, this is my first time ever seeing Donovan Mitchell play. I had not seen him play all season. That guy's pretty good. No doubt about it. He is really damn good. He's really good. Man, OKC disappoints again. I mean, Paul George definitely wasn't on fire like he was the last game. What was he? 18 points, 6-21, 28.6 field goal percentage. I mean, come on. I mean, Melo chipped in with 17, but he was 6 of 18, 33% field goal percentage. Russell Westbrook 7 of 19, 36.8 field goal percentage, 19 points. Yeah, I mean, it was just very meh. Not really what you would expect from 3 future Hall of Famers. And that's what OKC does, man. They can look so good sometimes. Like, they can look really good sometimes when they're clicking. But then when they don't click, it's like, damn. I mean, come on. You have all these great players. Why are you guys not putting it together? Why is it not? Why isn't there any real consistency out of you guys? Like, what's the problem? So, I mean, they've had all season to figure it out. And it doesn't seem like they really, truly figured it out enough to be consistent. Now, they look good for stretches sometimes. But remember what I was saying on the podcast. What was it? I think it was Saturday. And I was talking about being consistent. You want to be persistent and you want to be consistent. You want to be consistent. You want to be that person that everybody relies on. You want to be the consistent person out of the bunch. High performer. Doesn't mean you're perfect all the time. Doesn't mean that you're perfect any other time. It just means that you perform consistently at a good high level. And OKC just, for some reason, they just don't do that. So, Jazz tied the series up 1-1. See what happens game 3. I think OKC takes game 3. I think they'll take the series. I think they're just, I mean, they're a better team, at least on paper, than the Jazz. That they should be able to beat them. I think outside of Donovan Mitchell, the Jazz, they don't really have too much to offer up. So, OKC should eventually kind of smother them if they can take Donovan Mitchell out of the loop, which I think they can. So, we'll see what happens with that. Houston beat Minnesota. I'm still waiting on Minnesota. I thought Minnesota was supposed to be this great, like, second coming, the next great team. I don't see it. I think they've been very underwhelming. I mean, come on, Jimmy Butler, step it up, bro. 11 points, 3 of 6. Come on, man. Karl Anthony Towns ought to be ashamed of his damn self. 5 points, dude. 5 points, man. 5? I could have swore he was supposed to be like that guy. Like, he's supposed to be the second coming as well. 5 points, man. 5 points. 2 of 9. Man, I don't know. Andrew Wiggins, 13 points. 6 of 14. I thought Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be so damn good. Wasn't he supposed to be like really good or something? Wasn't he supposed to be like the next LeBron James or something? Like, they were like the comparisons, and they were talking about as far as impact, him coming out of Kansas or whatever. He hasn't done much. I mean, he hasn't been a bust or anything of that nature, but he definitely hasn't been like a transcendent player or nothing of that nature. So the Rockets will make quick work of those guys. I mean, Chris Paul poured in 27 points, 8 assists. I mean, they'll make quick work of them. I'd be surprised if Minnesota gets a game off on them. So the Warriors beat the Spurs again. Not surprised by that. The Warriors will blow out the Spurs. They'll sweep them. It'll be 4-0. Sixers beat the Heat tonight, 128-108. And Joel Embiid actually came back, poured in 23 points. Actually chipped in with, 7 rebounds. So I like the Sixers, man. I'm not going to lie. I think that they are like legitimately the next up. Like, this isn't the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just a mirage, basically. Like, nah, that this isn't that. This is for real. I think that the 76ers are going to be the next great team. I mean, you look at them, man. I mean, I know Joel Embiid, there's health issues there. But, man, I just got a feeling that he will. I mean, they're gonna have to monitor him. I mean, they're definitely gonna have to not play him all the time. They're going to have to monitor his minutes. They're gonna have to watch him. I give you that. But I think that won't necessarily get in the way of them being a great team for a long time. So as long as he can play, they'll be okay. Now, how often he plays or whatever, maybe doesn't matter as much. As long as he's playing, as long as he plays more times than not, is what I'm saying. If he gets some rest in between, then okay, whatever. But as long as you can, have him more times than not, then that's fine. That's fine. I mean, and hell, if you dominate for the next 8 to 10 years, get a couple championships out of it, who cares, right? Shoot. But yeah, 76ers beat the Heat, leading 2-1. Blazers and the Pelicans play tonight. Don't really care about them, to be honest. Anthony Davis has been balling though. And Dame Lillard has been getting shut down by Drew Holiday. Dame Lillard's been getting shut down. Period. Hasn't done much. So it doesn't look like he'll be, considering that they're down 21 points at this point. He probably hasn't been doing much tonight either. So that looks like that could be another loss. Trailblazers might mess around and get swept. I mean, didn't they get swept last year by the Warriors? I mean, man, back-to-back sweeps, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good at all, man. But, man, the playoffs so far, I mean, I'm not too moved by anything that's happened thus far. I mean, it's pretty much playing out like I thought it was going to play out. Nothing at all. The weak teams will get out. The weak teams will get eliminated. And the strong will survive. The Cavs will beat the Pacers. The Thunder will beat the Jazz. The Rockets are going to stump the Timberwolves. 76ers and the Heat could get interesting, but I think the 76ers will end up, especially with Joel Embiid being back, I think that they'll end up beating the Heat. So, we'll see what happens. So, man, speaking of the playoffs and the NBA, let's stay on the NBA topic for a little while longer. Let's talk about your boy Kawhi Leonard. So, Kawhi is like staying in the news, man. There have been a lot of reports coming out about Kawhi, and I actually heard today on the Herd, the Chris Broussard, that Kawhi Leonard's uncle and Kyrie Irving's father know each other. So I think they're like good friends or something. That's what Chris Broussard said. So, I mean, of course, there have been rumors that he could end up going to the Celtics. There's also reports coming out that the Lakers will go very hard at Kawhi, and I can't blame them. I'm pretty sure there are going to be a lot of teams going hard at Kawhi, man. I equate it to like a girl who may be having issues in her relationship or whatever, and then she may put something up on Facebook, something like that, and all of a sudden dudes jump in her inbox. You know what I'm saying? Trying to shoot their shot because they know that she's either done with this dude, or she's teetering, or she's thinking about being done with this dude. So she's giving out signs that, hey, I want to explore other options. I want to meet other people. I want to talk to other people. So she puts that post out, and then all of a sudden everybody jumps in her DM, or everybody jumps in her inbox. So this is the equivalent. We know what's going on with Kawhi. Well, we know that something's wrong. We know that something's off here. We know that something's wrong between Kawhi and the Spurs, right? We don't know what the actual rift is exactly, but we can speculate, and based on reports and based on what's been going on, I mean, we can kind of assume a little bit at least. So, I think that Kawhi, I honestly think that Kawhi is probably done with the Spurs. I don't think that this can be hashed out. Like, I don't think it could be talked out, to be honest. Like, remember, LaMarcus Aldridge was very upset, was very ticked off at his role and just being with the team or whatever. And he actually asked for a trade. So what happened was Pop got in his ear or whatever. They talked it out, and he stayed, which seems to be working out. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge had a damn good year, which, I mean, he's always had good years. He's a damn good player. So I don't think that will work with Kawhi. Kawhi strikes me as the type of person that, I mean, first of all, we know that he's very quiet. He doesn't speak a lot. I mean, have you guys ever heard Kawhi Leonard speak? Because I haven't. I wouldn't know how he sounded at all. You want to get some money out of me? Play Kawhi Leonard's voice and tell me to guess whose voice it is. I wouldn't be able to guess it. I would not be able to guess it at all. But Kawhi just strikes me as the type of guy that just won't take that type of disrespect. Like, he won't come out and lash out in the media or anything of that nature. But the fact that you had everybody calling him out and basically questioning him, you're questioning his toughness. I mean, when Manu Ginobili comes out, says what he says, Tony Parker comes out, says what he says, Greg Popovich, taking little shots here and there at him and his camp. I mean, I don't think Kawhi is the type of person to just kind of let that slide. So I think he's done, man. I think he has checked out. And to be honest, I think that he probably could have come back. But once he kind of heard all the chatter and how everybody was questioning him and questioning his toughness, questioning his commitment to the team or whatever, he was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, that's how y'all want to be? All right, well, I'm just sit my ass down here and I'm going to recover. I'm not finna get out here and hurt myself for none of y'all. Go on about your business. Go on about your business. So, he's like, yeah, okay, you guys want to talk noise, talk stuff? All right, well, I'm going to sit my tail down and just not play. Okay? There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to get paid regardless. And you guys will suffer. You finna get blown out to the Warriors. Hey, why not? Sit back, enjoy, recover, recuperate, and go on about my business. So, yeah, man. It should be a very interesting offseason, man. Because I think Kawhi Leonard only has 1 year left on his contract. So, he'll be a free agent next year in 2019. So, of course, a lot of teams are going to go hard at him, man. And I honestly don't think the relationship can be salvaged. I think Kawhi's done. I think he's checked out of San Antonio. Now, I could be wrong. Hey, who knows? If Pop gets in his ear and then somebody like LeBron wants to come down there and join him, and maybe another star or superstar wants to come to San Antonio and join him, maybe he has a change of heart. That could definitely happen. But until then, I think Kawhi's done, man. I honestly think he's done. So let's get into a topic that's near and dear to my heart. That boy Baker Mayfield, the crotch grabbing, limousine riding, running from the police son of a gun that he is making news once again. Because that's what he does. Because he's Baker Mayfield. And he makes the news for all the wrong reasons. Now, first of all, man, I know I may sound like a Baker Mayfield hater from time to time. And, I mean, you can take it for what it is. But my big problem, I mean, and it's not just with Baker Mayfield. It's with Josh Allen, too. But especially with Baker Mayfield, it just seems like everybody has a damn excuse for this guy. Everybody has excuses, man. Everybody has an excuse, or everybody wants to just brush all this off. Now, I want you to think for a second. Just think about it, man. If Lamar Jackson was caught on camera running from the police, okay, public intoxication. If Lamar Jackson was caught doing that, do you think that he would even be thought of? Like, do you even think that he would be drafted? I mean, seriously. He definitely wouldn't go in the first round. He definitely wouldn't go in the first round. He wouldn't go in the first few rounds. I mean, you look at Dak Prescott. I mean, Dak Prescott, I think him coming out of college, a lot of people had second round grades on him. Okay? He had that DUI incident. It dropped him to the fourth round. Now, some teams had him as a third round, fourth round prospect, but a lot of teams had him as a second round prospect. Okay? Now, how is it that Baker Mayfield can get away with doing all this crap and not get punished for it? He's still going to go top 5. Top 12 at least. He's not making it to the back half of the draft. He's not making it to the back half of the draft. He can do all this crap, bro. Like the new report coming out now, and just FYI, he's on the cover of Sports Illustrated with his shirt off, whatever, Gucci Mane, doing whatever. Okay. So let's see what Baker Mayfield did here. So I'm reading this article off Vox Sports Radio. So let's see. Baker Mayfield enters the 2018 NFL Draft as a top quarterback prospect. That is not no stranger to controversy. Despite character issues, the talented gunslinger is still a hot commodity for numerous teams looking for their next franchise quarterback. Regarding his recent visit with the Los Angeles Chargers, which that still sounds so freaking like it just doesn't seem right to call them the LA Chargers. It should be San Diego. But whatever. Los Angeles Chargers, the outspoken former Oklahoma quarterback, told SI.com, "I didn't look at their playbook as much as I should have," Mayfield said. "It could have gone a little bit better, but at the same time, I'm prioritizing which playbooks I'm going to learn. No offense to them, but I've got a lot on my plate." You guys remember, man, last podcast I was talking about Tristan Thompson and how when somebody shows you who they are, you should definitely believe them. This is one of those cases right here. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Nothing wrong with that. Ladies, if he only calls you on certain days, if he only calls you at certain times, okay, he doesn't think that highly of you. He probably has a girlfriend. He probably has multiple women. He probably hit 2 or 3 of them up before he hit you up. Okay? You probably ought to rebound. Okay? He's showing you who he is. And this guy is showing you who he is, man. That's just who he is. He's this type of guy, man. He has no problem. The thing is, man, even if you did do that, okay, let's say that you didn't do that, okay, you didn't take it as seriously as you should have, which, I mean, you know, hey, I don't know. I don't know what his agent's telling him, saying, hey, screw them folks, don't worry about it. Maybe it's his agent. Maybe it really was him. I don't know. But even if you did adopt that mindset, I mean, do you have to tell everybody that? I mean, why would you feel the need to tell everybody that? Why would you feel the need to tell the media that? Why? You know they're gonna eat it up. You want them to eat it up because you crave the attention. He wants the media to eat it up. That's why he said it. That's what he wants, man. He is Johnny Manziel 2.0. Point blank period. He is Johnny Manziel 2.0. Same personality, similar size. just similar characteristics. He is Johnny Manziel 2.0. We just saw Johnny Manziel flame out in the NFL. Now, what makes you think that he won't be different? Or what makes you think that he will be different? I'm sorry. I don't get it, man. I honestly do not get it. I mean, you got this coming out, the LA Chargers. I mean, you had the crotch grab on the sidelines. I mean, who does that? Especially if you're a quarterback. I mean, you're going to be leading my franchise. I don't need you grabbing your crotch in front of a national TV audience. I don't need you doing that. Okay? I need for you to control your emotions. I need you to think before you speak. I need for you to be, as my boy Colin likes to say, quarterbackial. Okay? Baker Mayfield is not quarterbackial, point blank period. He's not. And the fact that he's getting all this love, and the fact that you have all these people making excuses, you had guys like Joel Klatt today. I looked at him on Fox Sports 1 talking about, well, what quarterback doesn't have flaws? Like, what? What? Come on, man. It's nowhere in hell, bro. If Lamar Jackson did all this crap, man, it's nowhere in hell he would even get first round consideration. He'd be lucky to get drafted. Hell, he's been hella successful, and people still want to put him at receiver, wide receiver. So just imagine if he had any kind of off the field baggage. Imagine what would be said then. But for some reason, Baker Mayfield gets the benefit of the doubt. He's going to be good. Reports coming out, the Jets are sold on him, which you guys remember in my last mock draft. I talked myself into the Jets taking Baker Mayfield because that's just who they are. They're the New York Jets. They're a bad franchise. They make bad decisions. They're going to make bad decisions, and they're going to make. And if the dominoes fall, how I think they're going to fall, they'll take Baker Mayfield because that's just who they are. I mean, the fact that he's getting top 5 consideration in spite of all this, man, it's ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I mean, we've seen this movie with Oklahoma quarterbacks before, man. I mean, we saw Sam Bradford be really good at Oklahoma. Remember Jackson White, Heisman Trophy winner? He was really good. What happened to him? I don't even know if he got drafted. A lot of those Big 12 quarterbacks just flat out don't make it, man. And even if they do make it, they don't have the personality that Baker Mayfield has, man. I mean, that guy cannot check his emotions at the door. Could you imagine what's going to happen when he gets to New York? Could you imagine what's going to happen, man? Like, dude, it's not going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty at all. So, I'm very disappointed that the people will just decide to get this guy a pass. I mean, you want to talk about some privilege, boy. You want to talk about privilege, boy. This is it right here. This is it. Point blank, period. I mean, we see it with Johnny Manziel even getting looks. Just the fact that he's getting looks. People are actually taking the time out to meet with him or to see him play. And you have everybody making all these excuses, caking up for Baker Mayfield. I don't get it, man. The guy's not that good for people to be doing that to me. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, man. He threw a hell of a lot of touchdowns at Oklahoma. I mean, he did his thing. But my thing is, his game doesn't translate. He's not that superior of a prospect that you can just ignore certain things. You feel me? I don't think Baker Mayfield. I don't think anybody projects Baker Mayfield to come into the league and dominate the league. Like he's gonna dominate the league for like 12 years and make a bunch of Pro Bowls and do any of that stuff. I mean, I think his high, like as far as like him, his high end is just a okay quarterback. Maybe he could be a solid starter. Maybe he could be something like that. But I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. I would not touch him. I would not touch Baker Mayfield. I would not draft him. Hey, as my quarterback, I need you to check your emotions at the door. I need for you to really, really check your emotions at the door. Because we need you out of all people. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember the pilot earlier I was talking about? Imagine if she had been running around everywhere and all emotional, whatever. No, she was being professional. She was doing her job. Now, that's very hard to do that knowing that you could be minutes away from dying and crashing into the earth and just being a forgotten thought. But she stayed level-headed. And Baker Mayfield, he has shown that he doesn't have that type of moxie, basically. And as a quarterback, I need for you to be calm. I mean, in the heat of a game, man, you going up against Seattle Seahawks, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas. You got guys barking at you, calling you all sorts of names and stuff, man. And I mean, just doing whatever. Like, if you think it's bad in college, if they are bothersome enough to get you to grab your crotch and to, before the game against Baylor, tell them how bad you're going to beat them. Like, if you think that that's something, imagine when you get to the league with grown men that's really about that action. Imagine what's going to happen, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Remember what happened with Johnny Manziel? It flipped the team off. He couldn't handle his emotions. He couldn't handle it. And I think Baker Mayfield's next up in line. He's not going to be able to handle it. He's going to end up doing something like that. And people got it out for him, man. Like, these players, they see this stuff, man. They see you talking. They see you not taking some of these teams seriously. Chargers, shoot, they use anything for motivation. The NFL players, man, they use anything for motivation. Oh, he don't want to take us serious? All right, well, when we see you, when you do get drafted, when we see you, we own you. Heat seeking missile. Point blank period, man. So, I don't know, man. Baker Mayfield, this guy, man, I don't wish any ill will toward anybody. I'm not hoping he fails, anything of that nature. But it just really bothers me, man, seeing this, just the raw deal that Lamar Jackson's getting here. I mean, when you see people talk about the draft and people talk about the quarterbacks, nobody ever mentions Lamar Jackson. It's just Darnold. It's Darnold, Rosen, Mayfield, Allen. They don't even put Lamar Jackson in there at all. And when you look at him, I mean, Josh Allen, man, come on. How many times do we have to see this? Over and over and over and over and over again. Paxton Lynch was supposed to be very good too. He can't even beat out Trevor Siemian. Okay. He's supposed to be really tall and really strong-armed and really athletic. And what happened? He can't beat out Trevor Siemian. Josh Rosen can do all this talking and can do all this. Now, I will say, I think Josh Rosen's going to slide. I think Josh Rosen's going to take an Aaron Rodgers slide. So, maybe Josh Rosen ends up in. Maybe Josh Rosen is sort of kind of in the same pool as Lamar Jackson a little bit. But there's just no way in hell Lamar Jackson can do all that crap and even get considered first round. He'll be lucky. He would be lucky to be drafted, and it's unfortunate, man, because he's a good kid, bro. You know, showing improvement every year he was at Louisville. The guy can play, and he's getting a raw deal here, man. And I think that whoever decides to get him, whether it's the Jaguars, which I honestly think that would be a good pick because you would give Blake Bortles some competition. Now you put the heat up under Blake Bortles a little bit. Like, dude, yeah, even though we paid you some money, okay, don't get the big head. Draft a quarterback. We still got our defense. Draft our quarterback. Draft another quarterback, I guess I should say. And compete. And come in and compete. And we'll see what happens. So, I don't know, man. I just really hope. I just hope Lamar Jackson I hope he gets a fair shot to either fail or succeed in the NFL like everybody else gets, man. And I'm rooting for him like crazy. And we'll see what happens with Baker Mayfield, man. I think Baker Mayfield is gonna flame out, and it's gonna be so funny. But Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield, boy, I don't know if you guys follow a page on Twitter called Freezing Cold Takes. It's actually a very funny Twitter page. They basically put up old takes, supposed to be hot takes. Like let's say that if I were to say that Baker Mayfield is going to be perennial All-Pro, 12 years, 15 years, Hall of Famer. Yeah, you have to draft Baker Mayfield. And then 5 years from now, he's on the side of the road somewhere, eating cupcakes, asking for $5. Then they post my tweet up there or post my statement or whatever. It's a cold take because I thought it was a hot take, but it's a cold take. So they do a lot of that, man. They basically just take people's word, they'll take their articles or videos or whatever, and basically make fun of them for being wrong. So funny page. You should follow it if you aren't following it and into that type of stuff like I am. But yeah, man, Baker Mayfield, flame out. That's where I am on it. So that's all I got to talk about today, man. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed it, man. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. Share it on your page. Share it on your YouTube page. Share it on your Twitter. Follow the podcast on Twitter. Follow the podcast on Facebook. Wherever you can find me at, man. Tag along. Follow. Okay? So, appreciate you guys, man. And I will talk to you Tuesday. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there, man. Holla.